What is going on, guys? It's Ben here, bringing you another Vainglory video. In today's video, where they released the patch notes for the next incoming update. Now, usually updates come in the beginning of the month, so hopefully probably next week sometime, or even maybe 2 weeks, I don't know. That'll probably be when the next update is. I don't think they released an exact time. If they did, I was unaware. But that's just my thoughts, because it's usually around like the first couple days of the month, so probably around that time. But yeah, we have a lot of news, a lot of skins, a lot of hero changes in this update, so that's pretty cool because, I don't know. Last update was actually pretty balanced with heroes, but I'll go over that later. Let's get into what is coming into public queue, which is the, what's it called, Battle Royale. Now, I've only played a couple of Battle Royale matches on my channel. It's actually really fun, but just playing it, like it's good for like streaming and stuff to do like viewer matches because it's really fun. I know Rumble does that a lot, but they're bringing it into the public queue where you actually get you get glory from battles and you actually get fame. These matches are a lot shorter. If you've never heard of battle royale, like where have you been? Basically it's where you get like random heroes and then you can like you swap in, get a random hero, you play, and then they're short games though. They're 7 to 10 minutes long. You get a lot of gold faster. You start out with a lot of gold. The spawn timers are way different, and you can't go in the jungle or anything. It's like it's all in the lane. But yeah, so basically you will receive spoils of war, glory, and fame from public queue matches. So that's gonna be like, if they didn't change the fame values, that's gonna be a great way to get fame for your guild. Hopefully that'll change like a lot of people being able to get more fame for their guild too. I hope they don't change the amount of fame you get. But other than that, Battle Royale coming into the queue, and now we're moving on to the skins. So you guys may have heard of these. I'm going to give you my opinions on them because I'm strongly opinionated on one of them. Well, actually two of them. Killer Bunny Rona. It's a limited edition skin. I don't really care to like I don't mind it. Like Rona has a bunch of she already has a limited edition skin, so I think it would have been cool to do a different one. But hey. That's okay. It's a spring card event, so I get that. And then we're not gonna watch these, but this is the one where I'm like really. So BoneCruncher Phinn, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. This picture that is showing or spinning right now is the tier 3 skin. And the tier 3 skin, don't get me wrong, is amazing. But the tier 1 Phinn skin and the tier 2 skin Finns, honestly, they're kind of like lackluster. They don't really change much about his appearance. They look very similar, and there's a lot of spikes like on his tail and stuff. If you want to watch the videos, all you have to do is click the in-app thing. I don't know if I'm allowed to show them right now, so yeah, I don't want to get copyright strike by Vainglory, so that's why I'm not going to show them. But yeah, tier 3 Phinn, guys, looks awesome. It is like, you got the particle effects. It has like that little orb above his head. So I can't wait to give you guys gameplay on that when he actually is released. And like they're gonna release it kind of like how they did the Fortress skins, where they'll do like tier 1 at a time, tier 2 at a time, and tier 3 at a time. And then the ultimate one, which I'm like so hyped for, which a lot of people are hyped for, and it's actually, I think it's probably the best skin now. It is the tier 3 Cloud Raider Vox. Yeah, this dude is a monster. I'm not like, you can just see some of his abilities. I'm just gonna try it. If I get copyright strike, I'll just take the video down. But yeah, you can see the ult and stuff. It is crazy. Like, this skin is monstrous. Like, his A ability is awesome too. You can see it pretty soon. That's his ult right there. And his A ability shoots little like razor beams. It's awesome. I'm thoroughly enjoying that skin. So yeah, and then for those of you that, I don't know if any of you actually bought those like gifts or boosts, like the glory boost, the fame boost, but you can actually give a fame boost to a guildmate now, I guess. I never really used those, but I know probably some of you have, especially for guilds that want to get to like the top glory or like level 99. And alright, the scoreboard will now update enemy item builds when they have vision of enemy heroes. The scoreboard will only update enemy item builds when you have vision of enemy heroes. So now it's like, if an enemy buys something, you're not gonna know they bought it until you have vision on them, which is pretty crazy to think. Like, they could be just saving up a bunch of gold. They think you have one item, and then you fight them, and after you look and you see like they have like all like 2 tier 2s or something like that. And as the match continues, you will need to regain vision to see how the enemy builds have progressed. Which actually, I think that's an interesting thing to add. It's gonna change it. Like, you can't just look at the scoreboard, see what they're building, and counter build. you're gonna need to be able to, like, I don't know what vision they're talking about. Is it like a flare? If like a flare is on them, you can see them. So that means flares are gonna become very important to like actually not just see the enemy heroes, but like for the jungle, maybe if you haven't seen them for a while, it might be good just to like randomly shoot a flare over in the jungle, try and get vision on them so you know what items they have like at that current time. So that's an interesting change for sure. It's gonna, I don't know, it's gonna be interesting. Like some people are probably gonna try and like save up a bunch of gold, and then hide for a while until the fight breaks out, and they'll be like, oh my god, he has this, what? I don't know, that's just something. And then flares probably for vision on, to keep vision on them at all times, it seems like, because you don't want to know what they're building. Knowing what they're building is a huge part of the game, so you can counter build properly, know what items they have to see how you can fight against them. So that's a very interesting change. We'll see how that plays out. And then the Kraken, neutral Kraken late game does more damage to like when you're trying to take it, so that's pretty cool. The mini mine, basically if you took the enemy's mini miner early and they just waited a super long time, they would get a huge amount of gold, and they changed that now. It's always whenever someone takes it, it's gonna be 150 gold. I actually do like that, because now it's not like you have to worry, or you literally can just take it and you get a base 150 gold. You don't have to worry about taking the enemies and them waiting for like 10 minutes and getting like 400 gold almost or something like that. Plus this like the Iron Guard, so their team nets like a lot of gold there. Alpha, there is a ton of changes to her. I'm not gonna go through all of them. I'll just give you my general thoughts. I read through all these and I'll just give you my general thoughts of them. So you know how when she used to like blow up or use her ultimate, Core Overload, she wasn't able to like move at the end of it. She would just kind of stand still for a little bit. Well, now she actually has, she will not stop moving. You can still move. You can see the minimum movement speed is up from 0% to 30%. So that's pretty huge. The base damage is down from it a little bit. It's not as strong, but other than that, like her B ability does a little bit more damage. I think her A ability, the weapon power, like her base stats, weapon lays down a little bit, but I don't know. It's interesting. So we'll see how she plays out. Like being able to move a little bit more, but her ultimate deals a little bit less damage. I still think it'll be able to like. I think it's better because you might be able to still hit people. Other than that, we'll see how she plays out. I'm not like a huge fan of Alpha because she's. I don't know. We'll see how she goes. Well, I'll have to play her, but Catherine, her reflect damage is now considered buff damage. It's like the Adagio's Gift of Fire or the Hellfire Brew from Ringo. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. I know it's not. I don't know if that's considered true damage or not. I don't think it is. Buff damage, no. They would say this is true damage. So buff damage is gonna be probably need to like be able to be guarded by shielding, because like Adagio's burn, if you get shields, I think it decreases it. Sorry, I just gotta move this here. And then I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it changes, or if it actually is like more damage or less. I don't entirely know. I'm not like I don't know all the stats on the different damages. Like that's kind of way over my head. I've never really looked into it too much, but I think with shielding, it should be you were able to do it, because I don't know if it was what the actual. I don't know exactly what it was before. I think maybe it was just like regular damage. But either way, we'll find out. They buffed Celeste. Honestly, they nerfed Celeste a while ago to make her cooldown on her A ability a little bit less. And it felt weird for a long time placing her Helio Stars, because like it was on cooldown and you're like, oh, I can't place this yet. And it looks like they kind of changed it back a little bit. So they did buff her. I think Celeste is in a weird place right now. She's like not a bad hero. She used to be like, everyone used to be playing her. They buffed her last update with her B ability, nothing. And like nothing was changed to her really. It's just like how the meta evolved really. I don't really know. So that's a buff to her. We'll see if that changes a lot. Fortress, a little bit of a nerf on his wolves. They did fix his like a bug where sometimes like if the target for their wolves dies, it'll stand there, but they fixed that. His Law of the Claw, his bleed damage or the bleed proc is a little bit down. Basically Fortress overall got a nerf. So I still think he's gonna be strong with these little changes here, because his wolves still have quite a bit of health, and the fortified health that he gets and the extra health that he gets is up though to compensate for that. So well, at the beginning stages, so I don't know if it'll be if you really want to overdrive the attack of the pack anymore, but we shall see. Now Jewel, this is I don't know how to consider this. It's just like a change. She now has defense to all damage types, like any kind of damage, but her shield is down from 22 to 133 to 0 to 55, same as her armor. So it's gonna be interesting to see how if she's tanky or more tanky. Like I said, I'm not really a huge number, guys. They just changed it, and then in the description where they said they changed it, like she's gonna rely more on positioning herself to be able to take the front of the damage. Like if you the front of her has the armor, so you're gonna have to like dodge that with that better, and see where the damage source is coming. Kestrel, she got a nerf. They changed her ultimate so it scales a little bit better. It's not like when it gets to level 3 it literally just destroys everything. The shield pierces down a little bit, so it won't deal as much damage. Her active camo is her duration is up though, because it's like weapon power Kestrel that's the issue right now. That's really strong. But like they change it because of the pierce. Like her piercing arrows are what the problem was. Like even if you buy armor, it still does an insane amount of damage. So the weapon ratio is up a little bit for her arrows, but her the pierce for these that don't know what the pierce is, that's like what can get through the armor that you bought, is down. So that's like the big thing, because her piercing was way too much. So you could never really. It didn't really feel like if you bought like a metal jacket, she could still pierce through that on her own. But I don't know. That's fine. Nerfing her, I'm okay with that. Ozo's an interesting one. With his changes, I mean, it might help a little bit, but they just like kind of like changed his damages around a little bit. They like buffed his damage, but they reduced his critical ratios on his B ability. They buffed him. They did buff him. We'll just say that. Like his bangerang and all that stuff increased the speed of it and the roll duration, and it was down though. But we'll have to see. Ozo is just an interesting hero. We'll see. Petal, I don't know. Her heal got a little bit of a buff. The more levels it goes up, it's weaker a little bit earlier and goes up. And then they buffed the amount of like stats that her trampoline gets, or A ability or her B ability for jumping, the buff that she gets for her stuff. A little bit of a buff for sure. She wasn't really weak. It was just like she just has really good counter to like Cruel and stuff like that. She has her place, I think. Rhyme, on the other hand, his armor and shield is up because they are reducing the amount of fortified health that he gets from like basic attacks and stuff like that. So they're giving him a nerf because Rhyme was actually pretty strong. Other than that, they're reducing his damage at Valkyrie Center down from 360, 54 to 720. They're reducing the damage of his Valkyrie, which is his big hitter. I was never a huge fan of Rhyme, but I know like people were just monstrous with him and he's super strong. So they nerfed him a little bit. That's okay. Scarf got a little bit of a nerf as well. Spitfire its damage is down because it's such a huge poking tool, and a lot of people are banning Scarf right now. And they changed the ratios on his stuff on how fast he can wave clear minions and stuff like that. So Scarf getting a little bit of a nerf. Sky getting a little bit of a nerf as well. Her forward barrage, because when you locked on and use your forward barrage, you'd have that bonus damage. The bonus damage is down by 3%, so it's nothing major. She'll still be pretty strong, I think. Vox, it seems like they fixed a bug where sometimes you were able to get like an extra auto attack off sometimes when you would Sonic Zoom, or when you would affected by resonance and you would Sonic Zoom. And then they changed his wait for it again. Like if you guys were back when the wait for it, the silence was on like the shockwave, and then they thought that was too strong, so they reduced the silence and then they put it on like the first like line that you shoot. So now it's back on the shockwave, so you can actually like block the ult a little better. But so it's funny that they change it back and forth. We'll see how that plays. It's easier you'll be able to like, if you see that line come out now, you'll be able to block. You won't get silenced right away. So like a reflex block or something like that. So interesting. Now the recommended items, like the pass have been changed. I heard like Roam has been changing. what you get and everything like that. But the flare gun projectile speed was increased. That's good. Fountain renewal projectile speed was increased, so now you can actually like hopefully clutch save people, because a lot of times even myself, like I'm so used to like seeing my teammate getting really low and just being able to tap fountain renewal like and then they'll go, but just, now it's weird, like you have to anticipate like when one of your teammates is gonna die, so you have to like pre-hit your fountain renewal even though they're almost not dead. It's kind of weird. So that projectile speed increased. Hopefully will make it feel a little bit more normal. They changed Lifespring, your generation from non-heroes. New passive. After being out of combat with enemy heroes for 5 seconds, regenerate 2.5% of your missing health per second. Before they said it was able to keep you a little bit too healthy, I guess. So they just changed it a little bit. Breaking point, got a little bit of a buff. Weapon power damage up from 30 to 50. But breaking point really wasn't an issue, so I'm fine with that. And there you guys have it. Yeah, I give you like my thoughts on everything. I may sound like I'm not talking about, or I don't know what I'm talking about on some things, because honestly, on some things I really don't. Like the jewel one, I'm not entirely sure. That one, we'll have to see how it plays out. That one I'm kind of like, And then the Catherine buff damage, I don't know if that'll make it better or worse. Like I don't have those stats and stuff like that, but everything else, you got my thoughts on it, what I think about it. Kind of disappointed that the tier 1 and tier 2 Phinn skins don't look amazing, but hey, the tier 3 one does, so, and that's how like pretty much all of them are. Tier 3 skins look really awesome, and then the Vox tier 3. So other than that, those are the patch notes. Anything you guys think like is missing for hero nerfs or anything like that? I think they pretty much addressed the ones that were really big, which was Sky was really strong, I heard Rhyme was really strong, and Kestrel really strong. Those were the 3 big strong ones. I'm surprised they didn't nerf Adagio at all though. That's the only one that I was like, maybe they could have, because of like the buffs and stuff, because buff comp is like really meta right now. But everything else they nerfed Scarf a little bit, so let me know your thoughts if there's any nerfs that they missed, or if there's anything like what skins you guys are looking forward to. Either way, hope you enjoy the video. Make sure to subscribe for more Vainglory videos. Have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you guys later.